So the upside, it's it's a pairing of Bryan Cranston and Kevin Hart in a very heartwarming story that's actually based on a true story. From a French film actually called the Untouchables. Not the Untouchables, the Intouchables, just in case you get it confused with that other film. But when I went in this film, I expected like, okay, it's going to be, artificially heartwarming. It's going to be schmaltzy. They're going to make goofy gags. They're going to have the heartwarming drama. They're going to try to tug at the heartstrings. They're going to, push up the somber music, and they're going to try to make it light and uplifting. I'm like, okay, you know what? Fine. You know what? I'll dig. I'll give it a shot. I mean, I give every genre a shot here. I'm saying, okay, what is this film trying to do, and is it doing it well? So, all right, let's see what happens. I settled in. I got my coffee and I got ready. I said like, okay, what am I expecting this film? Okay, just make me laugh, make me feel something. Let's do it. Let's go. Now, I was expecting it to be pretty saccharine. To be very, like I said, very artificially schmaltzy. I expected that. What I didn't expect was how poorly this film is made. I mean, both technically, how it's written. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, you got Kevin Hart and Cranston. They have good chemistry. They're both accomplished actors, and they do a great job with what they're given. The unfortunate thing is they're not given much here. Like not much of anything to work with here. Okay, so the premise is that Cranston's character is Philip Lacoste, who during like a paragliding accident, he's paralyzed, from the neck down. So he needs someone to help him, and he's basically lost the will to live because he's lost his wife as well. So he's like, I don't want to live. Nicole Kidman plays Yvonne, who's also helping him. Who kind of has feelings for him, but she's not sure she wants to go down that path with him, especially since he's got a pen pal. But he essentially doesn't want to live. He's like, I don't care who you get me as an aide, just whoever you want. And then Kevin Hart bursts in, thinks he's applying for a janitor position because he's down on his luck. He's a deadbeat dad. He can't hold down a job. He's previously convicted. He's a thief. He's trying to amend his ways. And then he gets taken in, and he's like, and then Cranston's like, oh, you think this is a janitor position? It's like, oh, maybe you can show me a thing or two. And then, of course, you know the deal by here. If you've seen the trailer, you know what happens. Kevin Hart shows Cranston, a little bit of, he shows him like how Kevin Hart shows him how to, I was going to say dance, even though there is a dancing sequence, but I guess he shows him how to relax and have fun. With his many riches, because he's stupidly rich. He's got tons of cars and paintings. And then Cranston gives him a little bit of like culture. He shows him a little bit more appreciation for painting and for opera and the arts, and learns to make him a more refined person. And I mostly expected that. But the way that goes about, like, a lot of the humor here, it all comes from like shtick that was like written for that scene specifically. Like there's a scene where Kevin Hart goes into Cranston's like very spacious and rich shower, and of course it has like a little digital thing you use for turning on the shower, and it only speaks in German, and there's water jets coming from all sides. It's like, oh help, I can't get out of the shower. It's like, okay, that's I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't expecting. It's like, okay, this is it's easy comedy. What I wasn't expecting, though, was that there was going to be a 5-minute sequence of, like, and you've seen it in the trailer, there's the scene of the catheter sequence, where he has to put a catheter inside Bryan Cranston, and of course, he's like, oh, I gotta touch a penis? Ew, yucky. And of course, and he spends like 5 minutes, like, just like saying, like, oh, I can't do it, to the point where even if you say the word penis, he's grossed out by it, and again, like it goes with like most like the Kevin Hart humor. Like I said, like they cast Kevin Hart and Cranston mostly for what they do. Like Cranston is good at being kind of like a straight man. If you've seen him in stuff like Why Him from a few years back, that he can hold down that role well. Kevin Hart can be, the big, fumbling comedian who just like busts into the scene and says like, hey, what's going on here? And just makes a mockery of just about anything he can find and just tries for humor so badly. And I expected all that. I expected a little bit more, though. I didn't expect it to be just like kind of artificial, like, okay, this joke goes here, okay, that joke goes there. Oh, there's a scene where they get high, and Cranston just kind of, just kind of lays back, like, I want to eat hot dogs. And then you have Kevin Hart coming up with ridiculous stuff like, oh, you must make a digital application for finding weed dealers or stuff like that. It gets all over the place, not just with its humor, which is so like off-putting at times, because the audience I saw this with, they were rolling in the aisles with this thing, to the point that even when the film is trying to be dramatic, when it's trying to actually be serious with its tone about this, about Cranston's character, having difficulties in life and missing his wife and just wanting to end it all and just feeling like he can't do anything. And even with Kevin Hart, they try to bring in more drama with him, and the fact that he wants to be a good dad, he wants to mend his ways, but he still has a few kinks to get out of that armor. All that stuff, it's so clunkily put together, just like this film. I mean, technically, oh man, I made the mistake of getting a coffee to watch this film, because I couldn't stop staring at all the technical difficulties here. There are scenes where they're shooting something and they're trying to go for that kind of shaky cam effect a little bit, but then there are scenes where it feels like literally someone just bumped the camera during a shot. Like, there's a scene when we're following Kevin Hart in the car, we're kind of sitting right next to him, and the camera just kind of like jolts, like someone wasn't holding onto the camera just right. There's a few scenes like that. It's very poorly edited. There are scenes like during a dance sequence, we're holding on the same shot of Nicole Kidman dancing, and it's it has these weird awkward cuts between there. Not even kind of a smash cut of dancing. It's just kind of awkwardly cut there. Especially the ending. The ending is just all over the place with its editing, to the point where it just starts skipping around randomly in time. Not for some kind of non-linear method of trying to convey flashbacks and stuff like that, which they do. They cover, Cranston's character has flashbacks about his wife, the typical kind of blurring and brightness and, kind of the haziness of a dream, we expect all that. But it's so clunkily put together, especially narratively. Throughout the film, Kevin Hart's character is trying to find a business. He wants to be self-sufficient. And he's trying to find a business idea with Cranston's character, and he's still struggling to find it. But the thing is, what he ends up doing in the end is only mentioned in one scene briefly, and it never kind of builds up or pays off. And like I said, and this mostly comes into the fact that it's a very poor ending here that tries to wrap everything up, just put all the chips into place as quickly as possible. It was just I almost think that there's maybe there was a different ending here, and they just kind of slapped this one together and just pieced it all together, because it really does feel like there's a lot there's a lot left on the floor here. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a few story elements that do pay off. I like that there's a little bit with Aretha Franklin that ties into opera. I kind of enjoyed seeing Kevin Hart get all excited about opera. I mean, like I said, they do have great chemistry. They do have some good back and forth here. When it doesn't feel very, very tired and hollow. There's just a few minuscule moments when I started really smirking and laughing along with Cranston and Kevin Hart. And I'm not trying to be jaded. I know these guys are great. It's okay, I'm not expecting a great film, but just, if it can make me smile. And it made me smile once or twice, but ultimately it just carried this weird awkwardness where it never felt genuine. It never felt like the story was progressing, because it sets up so much with Kevin Hart's character and Cranston's character, and so little of it kind of pays off. Some of it pays off, like I said, with the Aretha Franklin bit, and I like how there's a build of the opera and some of the art that Kevin Hart leans into. But ultimately, it feels so hollow and just it's built for tears and laughs, but so awkwardly. Honestly, I could not understand why, because a lot of people were laughing at the catheter sequence. They were laughing at the catheter sequence. Cranston's got a stiffy. It's this scene goes, if this scene were maybe a minute or 2 minutes, I'd be okay with it. But for 5 minutes, he keeps going on about this. And maybe it wasn't 5 minutes, but it felt like 5 minutes for how long this went on for. This film was apparently... It apparently was at a film festival 2 years ago, and it was held back, mostly because of the Weinstein controversy. But you know, like good films have survived out of like the Weinstein controversy stuff, like, you know, like Paddington 2. I know Paddington 2 wasn't actually made by the Weinstein Company, but you can kind of understand why this was shelved. I mean, I can't fault it for what it's trying to do here. It is trying to, you know, go for like the easy sentimentality, you know, to make you. It's meant to be a feel-good film, and I think in some aspects it does bring that across, but it's just so clunky and kind of like and all over the place. It's such like a patch job of trying to be this type of drama that it really didn't work for me, and I found myself just more than anything just baffled by a lot of its choices. So I mean, you know, for the audience, I mean, I'm guessing it's probably gonna be a big crowd pleaser. There a lot of audiences were kind of laughing at this stuff. I do gotta admit, some of the chemistry between Hart and Cranston does work here, but with like a lot of Kevin Hart comedies that are buddy comedies, I always feel like, okay, there is chemistry here, but they need something better. They need to make this work in a different way instead of just going with like the usual type of tropes for this type of drama. And for that, I just felt nauseated with the upside. So for the upside, 1.5 out of 5.